Sabina to EMC Forum 2014. Questions like, what's new? What's changing? Is my strategy right? What's best business practice for my business? What's best business practice for IT to redefine business going forward are the substance of the EMC Forum series. Many of the people in the room I have known for a number of years. Many of you attend EMC World every year in May. At EMC World in the last few years, 2 years ago, amongst other things, we announced our converged infrastructure company and joint venture with Cisco, VCE. VCE, I'm delighted to say, this year is already a €1.5 billion company. This year, last year, shall I say, we announced Extreme.io at EMC World. Extreme.io is a brand new form of technology, all flash arrays. I'm delighted to say that we've announced that we already are on a run rate of $300 million in all flash arrays this year, and we're expecting enormous growth going forward. This year at EMC World, we announced both the EMC Hybrid Cloud and DSSD, amongst other things, but more of that to follow. So the main thing I'm trying to get across is these meetings are for you, and I would love for you to take the opportunity to ask any questions that you have. It's really about encouraging debate, about experiencing, about trying out new ideas, and about testing your ideas both with EMC and all of your IT professional colleagues in the room. So what's new? What is different? Well, firstly, Germany won the World Cup. So besides Germany winning the World Cup, which clearly is the biggest thing this year, many other things have changed in the last 12 months. Digital innovation is moving apace. Okay, there are countless examples of how digital innovation is changing our lives, both in a commercial sense and in a societal sense. Certainly, the moves around the discovery of the genome and how medical research is moving forward is a great example of how digital, big data technologies are being used to move forward immense subjects for society. It's also, in the last 12 months, the first time that a CEO of a major Fortune 100 company was fired for a data breach. Okay, that company being Target, where they lost, millions of their customer records in a data breach. Likewise, in the last year is the first time that a company has lost half its stock market value because it picked the wrong cloud strategy. The company I'm referring to is Marks & Spencer's in the UK, and for those of you who know the story, the short version is they couldn't get to the web quick enough, they were losing market share, they put all of their IT facing to the customer in a public cloud environment. That didn't work, they tried to get it back and couldn't. Okay? In the process of restarting their in-house databases, they lost half their customers. Okay? In any way you look at it, that's not good. Okay? And they were rapidly overtaken, particularly in clothing manufacturing, by their competitors. So immense change. The business is being defined, the world is being defined by movements in IT, and I would say likewise, business is also redefining IT in same measures. What other changes are occurring? Well, EMC, in this land of great change, is doing very well. Most of our competitors, many of our friends we know and love, many of them who've worked in EMC over the years, haven't been having a good time. As you know, most companies in the IT industry have been at best staying the same, if not retreating, less sales, lower profits, less opportunity for R&D. I'm delighted to say, and hopefully you'll see with some of the innovations that we are currently talking about, that EMC is going in the opposite direction. Mid to high single-digit growth, even through the last few years, and in EMEA, I'm glad to say 12% growth. So in our own World Cup, EMC in EMEA is doing very well, and I would like to thank you for your support over the years. So, what are we seeing? You know, business, in one way of looking at it, is roughly the same. Businesses are trying to react faster to find new growth. That's forcing them to cut excess costs or to lose businesses that aren't as profitable or fast-growing as they could be. Okay, so they're trying to get rid of their legacy and move to the newer, faster growth opportunities. And they're trying to do this in an environment where they're balancing risk. However, as you'll see in the rest of this conversation, the key word here is faster. Okay, we'll come back to this time and time again. Speed is of the essence. There are some mega trends that we can't avoid. Okay, these are immovable obstacles. And in each company, you have to win in these agendas. I was surprised recently, you know, we talk always about the digital customer experience. And it's easy to imagine how a digital customer experience affects a bank or a telco company or a travel company, for example. I've been surprised in the last 12 months to talk to major chemical firms, you know, major other firms, mining firms, that you would not think the digital customer experience was so important for. However, I have been re-educated, okay, and certainly the chemical industry example was quite an eye-opener about how the digital customer experience is being used to sustain even bulk chemical businesses in the face of Chinese and Asian competition. So each of us have to have strategies that allow our companies to win in mobile, in cloud, big data, and in social. The industries that we're in are changing at pace. We refer here to BMW and a connected car. I thank BMW for their participation in this particular event. I'd like also to thank our friends at Volkswagen Audi Group, who, again, are long-time partners, long-time contributors to the EMC story in Germany, and clearly thereby to our good partners at Porsche. I hope some of our good partners are here as well. What I'm referring to here is more the product innovation side, which Germany's known so well for. Okay, so there are immense digital innovations occurring in the automotive world. GE, and in the aircraft engine manufacturing world, by the way, there's a great deal of change. GE, as you may know, have invested in EMC's company Pivotal around agile application development and the use of analytics to drive a business model. GE's particular interest is to develop a new business model where they no longer sell aircraft engines. They merely, they don't sell them per se, they rent them by the hour. Okay? So they believe there's a more profitable business model and a model that's more sticky with their customers by moving to an on-the-drip model with GE. Okay? And likewise, massive innovation in the insurance market, massive innovation in the Internet of Things. You see the reference here to Nest, in digital content, etc., etc. In addition to that, this is the product innovation side. There are whole industry movements. We talked briefly about the finance market. In the last 5 years, there is 50% less traffic going to bank branches. And that's pretty much a West European American trend. Over the next 5 years, many of the banks I talk to believe that that will go down a further 75%. So what do you do when you're a bank and for the last 100 years you depended upon every generation of a family coming to the local bank to establish the relationship, to sell the mortgage, to sell the insurance, to sell the car loan, etc., etc., when they don't come anymore? Okay? You have to rely on the digital customer experience. You have to compete on a completely different playground. Okay, and we're seeing just immense movements in the finance world trying to deal with those issues, and also with the issues of the fact that that industry now is easier for new entrants to join. And certainly in many markets we're seeing great innovation by new entrants threatening the big banks who've been there for over a century. In retail, same things apply. In the retail world, Retail companies can be defined by how they've gone to market in e-retailing. In many markets, the retailers that understood same-day delivery and click and collect, which means I buy online but I collect in the store on the same day, and they understood how to make those things work, won big, and the ones that didn't are losing big, for example. So this is not just home delivery of food, this is how we deliver all goods. And Christmas, for example, is a great watchword for what's happening. Every Christmas, the amount of goods that are bought in brick and mortar shops stays the same at about 0%, maybe goes down a point, goes up a point. The amount of business that comes through the web is about 25% growth to 28% growth. In other words, all the growth around Christmas shopping, which defines many of the retail industries, is occurring on the web. So if you don't win on the web, you don't win at all. So, we face massive business disruption. There's some stories that I'm known for in the IT industry. One that I talk about is something called brand and factories, which may be useful for today's conversation. When I talk to banking CEOs and CFOs, I refer to the fact that when you basically boil down a bank to its essentials, what is it? And actually, it's a brand and it's a factory. And the factory can contain many given things in it, but nowadays the factory aspect of a bank is pretty much all digital. The transaction with the customer is digital. Risk management is digital. Calculation of the cost of risk is digital. Okay? The delivery method is digital. Even the branding experience is increasingly digital. And when you boil it down, so a bank, easy to say, is just a brand and a factory. Retail is pretty much what I've said, but add logistics and possibly purchasing, which themselves are more digital. Okay? So we have to not under-emphasize this key asset that is IT in our business. I also talk about confident paranoia, which recognizes the fact that we should have an element of conservatism, that we should try and follow things that we know work, but otherwise we have to pick a path. As we will discuss, the costs of staying on first platform or second platform compared to third platform are ultimately completely uneconomic. People in third platform of IT, if you understand that term, okay, which is it's not, mainframe is first platform, client server is second platform, third platform will be the newer Hadoop based, high power, commodity server based type environments, which are fundamentally less expensive to use per unit of IT, scale much more quickly than a first or second platform of IT, and are easy to change, okay, extremely agile. And the watchword is this: everyone, but everyone, wants agility. So we talk about cost. What I see on the cost equation for IT is, number one, IT spend is going up. Okay, global IT spend goes up about 4 to 5% per annum, and has done for a few years. Before that, it went up even more quickly. So people are spending more on IT. But what they're trying to do is to save money and achieve what agility they can in first and second platform, and use that extra resource to build even more quickly in the third platform. So cost is not a game in its own right, for the most part. It's a game to get more resource into more productive areas. So clearly we need security, clearly we need compliance, clearly we need business continuity. Ultimately, the whole game is about agility, and doing that in the most simple, automated fashion possible. So all of the analysts are on this story. Here's some quotes from Gartner. More CEOs see IT as a driver of digital business innovation and growth. It's just a normal quote that you see pretty much every day. IT is both defining the business and in many cases is the business. So what else do we see? So we see today's IT still an element of mainframe, a great deal of client server, and to be clear, most of the businesses that we are in today will still generate a great deal of their revenue and their profitability on second platform and to some degree first platform environments for at least the next few years. Okay? So I'm not suggesting that we rip out our first platform and second platform environments. I'm suggesting that we try and take the cost out of that, we try and simplify it, we try and make it more agile, but that we divert all of our resources into the areas that are getting all of the R&D expenditure from the IT firms. And those are the areas that allow immediate, elastic access to inexpensive, extremely fast, very reliable IT. There's another big change. Today's IT, actually, for the most part, this is not even today's IT. Most IT departments don't necessarily define themselves, even today, by their relationship with the CFO per se. Increasingly, it's the relationship with the CEO and the relationship with the business. Okay? So in emerging IT, this customer-centric applications, understanding your customer in much more detail becomes immensely important. And it's something that IT professionals are beginning to specialize in to provide more benefits to their business. Data warehousing, clearly then, is also changing. The utility or the benefit of having historical data internally driven is being quickly beaten by the ability to have predictive information about where your customers are going to be both today and tomorrow. And to find out more information about how one can sell or provide a customer benefit going forward. Likewise, this is leading to a big change in the hierarchy of IT. So we are moving away from the silos. What's replacing that is, in theory, the need to have more of a single view of information. Okay, so EMC would term this a data lake and would recommend that you try to get as close to one view of information as you can get. And that allows you to get the maximum benefits of the newer technologies. Now, I understand that for most companies that's not entirely possible, and in some cases it's not desirable. But companies clearly will attempt to move to more of one view of the information to do more things more quickly than ever before, which means to say that the application is no longer the sole source of automation in IT. And the application will no longer have its own silo with its own backup, its own disaster recovery, its own security that's unique to the rest of the organization. That is to build in inefficiency and to build in slowness. Okay? At the pace of change that we need to be working at, we have to work to a more global sense of IT going forward. These concepts of elastic compute, storage and network. It will take time. I'm sure that some of these concepts will take time in Germany for naturally conservative reasons. But you have to get there. There is no choice. Likewise, security has fundamentally changed. Security at the perimeter is completely lost. Again, I spend a great deal of time with all the financial institutions in Europe. The working assumption is that the bad guys are in every single one of your IT shops today, quite freely. Okay, so your perimeter defenses really don't protect you from too much. There's three types of attack. There's the student in the bedroom, there's the criminal attack, which is now amazingly well funded, and amazingly well organized, okay? And there's the state-sponsored attack. And it's only by dealing with these in a strength in depth, with multiple different ways of dealing with your security, that you can hope to minimize the impact of such attacks, point one. And secondly, to learn more about the nature of the attack and thereby prevent future attacks from happening. So what you'll see is today's security spend is 64% around prevent, and the rest, only 1/3 around monitor and respond. What you'll see is that monitor becomes 1/3, respond becomes 1/3, and prevent actually reduces to around 1/3 of security spend. And security spend in general goes up. Okay, clearly the digital economy doesn't work without security. Okay, so very big changes in that market. The people trying to take the data from your systems are growing smarter and better funded every day. You have to move to these newer ways of ensuring your security. Okay? That then drives you towards uses of data analytics to drive security. You will have to track who has access to your systems. The most sophisticated attack nowadays comes in, it finds who the senior people are in the organization, it assumes their identity, and then it walks through your organization as one of your employees. Okay? Happens all the time. You have to find that and other forms of attack, and you do that through data analytics. Okay? So immense use of big data techniques combined with security software to find, track, and stop and prevent security threats. So, moving on. Cloud technology. It's, again, omnipresent. Again, I would say this is a trend slightly slower in Germany than in the rest of Europe, but all workloads are moving to clouds. The only question becomes where those clouds are situated. With EMC, you had many choices. I've mentioned here some of our major partners in Germany, such as T-Systems, Colt, Atos, ScanPlus, Vodafone, all of whom provide an excellent EMC service in the cloud. In essence, what we're seeing is, whilst there's a great deal of publicity around the benefits of off-prem public cloud, in actual fact, the movement of workloads from enterprises to the public cloud is only moving at about 1 to 2% per annum. Okay? So there is movement, but it's very small. And in actual fact, the on-prem facilities that we have, which is today a $2 trillion market compared to the $44 billion off-prem public cloud market, is where most enterprises want to get better. Everyone wants to get their private hybrid cloud to work. Okay? And on that subject, EMC announced this year at EMC World the EMC hybrid cloud. So under the covers, EMC has been morphing. I've been here for the last 27 years. We were a storage company until the 1990s. We worked in information infrastructure between 2000 and 2010. Nowadays, we're a much more in the center of everything you need done, most strategic subjects and objectives type of company. And we have the full panoply, the full offerings that you need to provide internal private cloud. We announced this year some new products, Viper, which you're going to want to look at and you can download for free to test. Likewise ECS around Elastic Cloud. Put those together with a few other EMC management suite and you have the EMC hybrid cloud, which allows you to build low cost, high utility, easy to change private hybrid cloud with the ability to burst to public cloud wherever you may want it, to any house that you want to go to. So we've built in choice, we've built in, for example, Amazon, we've built in OpenStack, we've built in Google, we've built in Microsoft Azure. Okay, whatever your chosen play is to burst out to public cloud, it's already there, it's pre-engineered. Okay, with a standardized self-portal, standardized services, transparent pricing, that brokerage between clouds and brokerage of services fully automated. We also, alongside our partners, offer you the option of versing to VMware vCloud Air. Okay, so VMware, another key part of the federation, is taking EMC's go-to-market into the public cloud, okay, giving you another, let's say, enterprise-like public cloud for you to use. Many of the public cloud entities out there, I don't need to name them, there are many issues that are already at play. VMware gives you a contract that makes sense, gives you services that make sense, and if you ever need to get your information back from VMware vCloud Air, you can. Okay, we back this up with what is nowadays a unique federation. So between EMC II, as we call it, VMware, Pivotal and RSA, we have the main part of change in your IT occurs where EMC is. I've talked already about the fact that the keys to automation going forward don't reside solely in the application. They in fact become extracted, pooled, okay, and automated in the information infrastructure going forward. And EMC is designed to help you maximize that market potential. So EMC II is designed to help you in the software-defined data center, storage virtualization, converged infrastructure, and all other aspects from the storage-based type play. VMware clearly gives you virtualization of the server, virtualization of the network, alongside our partner, and separately also our partner Cisco. And between us and Pivotal, we give you the whole software-defined data center platform to build your software-defined enterprise go-to-market. And then Pivotal links us to agile application development, and Pivotal links us to the big data go-to-market, data analytics as a business tool, and likewise VMware links us to end-user compute. Okay, it's a full offering. Nowadays, EMC has servers, storage, network, people, everything that you need to get from where you are to where you need to be. Okay? Beyond that, some solutions we can put together for you and are putting together in many big companies today. So we talked about software-defined data center, any form of as a service, storage as a service, platform as a service. Combinations of our products are being put together for major service providers in particular today to deliver their service provision go-to-market in the least expensive, most powerful fashion. We are helping many companies who aspire to be the Amazon of Europe to achieve that goal. We're working in the virtual workspace, security analytics we've discussed, and the business data lake through Pivotal. So, let me also add that in addition to the overall strategy, there are a few point products that I think you need to be adequately focused on. I believe it's fair to say everyone is going converged infrastructure. You either have it today or you'll be there tomorrow, okay? Which is basically the combination of server, network, storage, basically a data center in a box. As I pointed out before, today for EMC, we have about 51% of that market, about 1.5 billion euros, growing incredibly quickly. This helps you to mass consolidate IT with one management layer, not 20 management tools attempting to go forward. So much greater utility of your human resources going forward. Everything that we do that's software defined helps you build the hybrid cloud, helps you build as a platform, and I must touch on Flash and the Extreme IO all-flash array. You will, if you see this, you'll want this as at least your top layer of information storage. You want it because it's 20 times faster. than traditional storage. It's 4 times more dense. You can put the same capacity in a quarter of the space. Nothing moves, so it doesn't break. Okay? And if you get it from EMC, it's truly compatible, it's truly compliant, it links to everything, it's truly secure. Okay? It really doesn't break. As I said, many of our customers are going the whole way to all silicon data centers. Okay, so in the US and the UK, we have a number of examples of people who are making that change. I encourage you to look at both converged infrastructure and flash performance as a matter of urgency. So, in summary, I think we can bring you from where you are to where you need to be, going from second platform to third platform. We have all the tools, we have all the people, and everything is built for the last key point, choice. Everyone, but everyone, knows they need to make a decision here. They know they need to make a series of decisions. The consequences of getting that decision wrong are quite high, probably higher than they've ever been. Therefore, everyone needs choice. Okay? With EMC, everything's pre-engineered for choice. You know, we're fully aware of what you need. We're fully, and clearly we believe that once you start taking the EMC products and solutions, you'll want to go further, but that's your choice going forward. We're the only company out there making these statements and pre-engineering our solutions for that outcome. So, you will, I believe, in summary, you're going to want to build this as part of your software-defined enterprise strategy. You have to go software-defined data center. Whether you do it today or tomorrow, you will do that. You will go to adaptive, data-driven security. I believe also then you will do what's necessary to make your business mobile savvy and mobile functional. Agile development, which is basically the ability to come out with applications in as little as days, hours, weeks, at worst 1 or 2 months, as opposed to a year, fully tested, ready to go. You have to go in that direction. And you will move towards data lake as the approach for business analytics going forward. And with that, we have the technologies, we have the people, you have freedom of choice, and I look forward to a great day of debates with you, which starts as early as now. Tinko, if I can ask you to come up to the stage.